If you're a die-hard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. The Cleveland Browns find themselves in an unusual yet fascinating situation heading into the 2025 NFL season, a true four-man quarterback competition. You don't see this kind of depth or uncertainty at the most important position in football very often, especially not this late into the offseason, with Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders all in the mix. The Browns are taking their time deciding who will lead the offense in Week 1. The stakes couldn't be higher. After finishing with the lowest scoring offense in the entire league last season, the pressure to make the right decision at quarterback is immense, and now as training camp looms, one respected insider is making waves with his strong take on who stands out above the rest, not just as a QB, but as a pure passer of the football. This could end up being the spark that sets the whole competition on fire. According to Zach Jackson of The Athletic, it's veteran Joe Flacco who stands tall as the best pure thrower among the Browns' current options. Let that sink in. Flacco, at 40 years old, is still slinging it better than guys half his age, at least in terms of mechanics, arm talent, and consistency. And Jackson isn't just talking about arm strength here. He's referring to touch, timing, placement, everything that makes a quarterback effective when delivering the ball through the air. It's a bold statement, but one that actually makes a ton of sense if you've watched Flacco's unexpected resurgence. During his time with Cleveland in 2023, he didn't just step in and hold down the fort. He elevated the offense, earned the respect of the locker room, and brought a level of calm that had been sorely missing. Flacco's impact goes beyond just what he does with the football. It's his demeanor, his leadership, and his command of the game that have stood out during the Browns' off-season program. Jackson wrote that Flacco mastered the offense quickly and has become a rock for both the coaching staff and the younger players, for a team still trying to mend a broken offense and find stability at quarterback. That kind of presence is invaluable, especially when you consider that the rest of the quarterback room is relatively green or has something to prove. Kenny Pickett is coming off an underwhelming stint in Pittsburgh. Dillon Gabriel is a rookie trying to adjust to NFL speed, and Shedeur Sanders, while incredibly talented, enters the league with more questions about maturity and off-field discipline than anyone would like. In that context, Flacco doesn't just look like a stopgap. He looks like the anchor. He's the guy you want showing the ropes to Gabriel and Sanders, especially since both are potential long-term answers if developed properly. Sanders, in particular, could benefit tremendously from learning under a player like Flacco, someone who's been there, done that, and done it under some of the brightest lights in football. For all his raw skill and hype, Shedeur is still unpolished. His decision-making, composure, and approach to leadership will need refining, and there's arguably no better person to guide him through that growth process than a 17-year NFL veteran with a Super Bowl MVP under his belt. It's no surprise, then, that many inside and around the organization view Flacco as the favorite to start the season. He's got the trust of the coaching staff, he's familiar with the offense, and most importantly, he's already shown he can win games in a Browns uniform. That's a luxury the others can't offer just yet. Pickett, while intriguing, hasn't proven he can consistently produce at the NFL level. His mechanics are shaky, and his decision-making has been called into question numerous times. Cleveland invested a 5th-round pick in him this offseason, which complicates things. You don't usually trade for a guy just to keep him buried on the depth chart. But based on early impressions, he may not be ready to push Flacco just yet. Then there's Dillon Gabriel, a true wild card in this whole thing. The rookie out of Oklahoma has the dual threat ability and arm talent that could excite fans. But he's still a developmental project at this point. He'll need time to adjust, especially when it comes to reading NFL defenses and making quick decisions under pressure. There's a lot to like about his upside, but asking him to start Week 1 would be unfair to both him and the team. The Browns are in win-now mode. They can't afford to gamble on potential. That's why Flacco's steadiness is such a big deal. He's the guy who gives them the best shot to hit the ground running while bringing the younger guys along the right way. And let's not forget about Shedeur Sanders. As polarizing as he is talented, Sanders might have the highest ceiling of any quarterback in that room, but the floor, well, that's another story. With off-field incidents already raising eyebrows and whispers about his leadership style following him from college, there's a legitimate concern about whether he's ready for the NFL spotlight. That's why having Flacco around could be a game changer. Flacco has seen everything the league has to offer: the highs, the lows, the media pressure, the locker room politics. If Sanders is willing to listen and grow, there's no better mentor to help mold him into a franchise QB. The situation is definitely fluid, and with months to go before the regular season, anything can still happen. Injuries, training camp performances, and preseason reps could shuffle the depth chart more than once, but as of now, the writing seems to be on the wall. Flacco is in control. He's the safest, smartest choice for Week 1, and while that might not be the sexiest option for fans hoping to see the future unfold now, it might be the best path toward long-term success. Let the rookies develop. Let Pickett fight to prove he belongs. But let Flacco steer the ship for now. Still, the Browns' quarterback saga is far from over. The front office and coaching staff will be watching every throw, every read, and every interaction closely. How does Pickett respond to the competition? Does Gabriel pick things up quickly enough to warrant reps with the starters? Will Sanders mature enough over the summer to give the staff confidence in his future? All of these questions are in play. And with a roster talented enough to make a playoff push, the pressure is on to get it right. What the Browns can't afford is another year of quarterback instability or poor offensive output. This decision will shape not just 2025, but potentially the next decade of Browns football. So as we inch closer to training camp, fans should prepare for one of the most intriguing position battles in the NFL. Joe Flacco may be the present, but behind him, the future is bubbling, unpredictable, exciting, and full of possibility. Whether it's Gabriel, Sanders, or even a surprise run by Pickett, Cleveland is stacking the quarterback room in a way that few teams ever have. For now, though, it looks like Flacco will be the man under center when the Browns take the field in Week 1, and if he plays anything like he did last year, that might be exactly what this team needs. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. There's a buzz shaking up the NFL world right now, and if you've been even remotely tuned into football chatter this week, you already know what's got everyone talking. Word on the street is that Odell Beckham Jr. is heading back to Cleveland, and yes, you heard that right, the same OBJ who once lit up the Dawg Pound with his game-breaking speed, jaw-dropping one-handers, and flair for the dramatic. The internet is absolutely losing it over rumors that Beckham has signed with the Browns once again. And whether you love him or hate him, you can't deny the sheer excitement this move has sparked. Fans are flooding social media, speculating about what this could mean for the Browns' offense. Is this real? Is it smoke and mirrors? Or is this the move that could shake the entire AFC North to its core? Now, before we dive headfirst into this, let's make one thing crystal clear. Nothing has been officially confirmed by the franchise just yet. But the whispers are getting louder, and some insiders are already treating this as a done deal. We've seen Instagram stories with cryptic hints, OBJ's latest tweet showing an orange heart and a dog emoji, and even an apparent sighting at Cleveland Hopkins Airport. When you put all of these breadcrumbs together, it paints a picture that feels just a little too convincing to ignore. Fans are even pointing to his sudden absence from recent Ravens activities as a sign that something is in the works. It's all speculation for now, but it's the kind of speculation that feels rooted in something very real. Let's talk about why this would be such a massive deal. Odell's first stint with the Browns, from 2019 to 2021, was full of ups and downs. Injuries, quarterback drama, and chemistry issues kept him from reaching the superstar level we saw in New York. But there were flashes. There were flashes. You think back to those long touchdown catches, the yards after the catch, the electricity he brought when the ball was in his hands. He was a player that made you sit forward in your seat every single snap. And now, with a new-look Browns team that's finding its rhythm, some fans believe the timing is just right for a redemption arc that only the NFL can write. What's even more intriguing is what this potential reunion says about the Browns' confidence in their current quarterback situation. Whether it's Deshaun Watson under center or someone else taking snaps, bringing OBJ back into the mix would suggest that the coaching staff believes they're just one playmaker away from pushing this offense into elite territory. And with Amari Cooper already commanding attention on one side of the field, Beckham could thrive without the weight of being the sole focus of the defense. It's not hard to imagine a scenario where this duo, backed by a strong run game and improving offensive line, becomes one of the most dangerous combinations in the league. But let's be honest, this is Odell Beckham Jr. we're talking about. He doesn't just bring talent, he brings headlines, emotion, and a spotlight that never dims. The locker room dynamics are sure to be a topic of conversation. Will he fit in with the current culture in Cleveland? Is he coming in humble, hungry, and ready to work? Or are we looking at another personality clash waiting to happen? Those are fair questions, and ones that the Browns front office would have to answer behind closed doors. But from the outside looking in, it feels like OBJ has matured, especially after his time with the Rams and Ravens. Maybe, just maybe, this is a wiser, more grounded version of the player fans remember. The other thing that's got fans excited is the potential impact on ticket sales, jersey sales, and overall energy around the franchise. Beckham is still one of the most recognizable names in the NFL, and his return would almost instantly reignite a fan base that's been starving for excitement. It's not every day a team gets a second chance at one of the most polarizing stars of the past decade. And let's not forget the media circus that would follow. Every game, every catch, every sideline moment would be under a microscope, and that's exactly the kind of drama the NFL loves, whether it ends in triumph or disappointment. It's going to be must-watch football. There's also the revenge narrative that could come into play. Think about it, ODELL facing off against the Ravens and Giants, two teams that didn't exactly give him the fairy tale ending he probably hoped for. If there's one thing we know about OBJ, it's that he plays with a chip on his shoulder, and he's never been shy about turning criticism into fuel. A motivated Beckham with something to prove is dangerous, and if he's really healthy, really locked in, and really ready to rewrite his story in Cleveland, the league better take notice, because love him or hate him, OBJ still has the potential to be a game changer. Of course, with every big move comes risk. There's no guarantee he stays healthy, no guarantee he meshes with the offense, and no guarantee the experiment works out. We've seen superstar signings fall flat before, but the upside here, it's massive. The Browns are in a win-now window, and adding a player with Beckham's upside, especially at what could be a relatively low cost, might be the spark they need to push them over the edge. And even if it's just for one season, the idea of Beckham lighting it up in Cleveland again is enough to make any football fan curious. Now let's shift gears and talk fan reactions, because they've been wild. Twitter has been a battlefield of excitement, skepticism, and downright disbelief. Some fans are saying it's about time, while others are worried the team is repeating past mistakes. But no matter where you land, one thing is certain. This rumor has completely hijacked the Browns' off-season narrative. Training camp hasn't even started yet, and already there's a sense that something big is brewing. You can't manufacture this kind of hype. It either happens naturally or it doesn't, and right now, the Browns are riding a wave of attention that could set the tone for the entire season. At the end of the day, whether this turns out to be true or not, the very possibility of Odell Beckham Jr. returning to the Browns has done something few off-season rumors ever managed to do. It's brought energy, conversation, and hope to a fan base that's always waiting for the next chapter. Will OBJ suit up in orange and brown once again? Will we see a Cleveland redemption story unfold before our eyes? Or is this all just smoke with no fire? Only time will tell, but until then, buckle up, because if this thing really happens, it could be one of the most unforgettable storylines of the 2025 NFL season. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!